Hello traders, it is Monday, the 23rd of April 2018. It's 8 a.m. Chicago time. Thanks for joining me again. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The market stance this morning, trading the ES trading being as it is the behemoth in the index futures world, is trading inside of Friday's range, a little bit higher. It's currently up 5.75 points, or about 0.25%. The leader this morning is U.S. dollar, up 0.4%. The laggard this morning is crude oil. Remember, crude oil is trading June now, 67.23, down 1.71%. Looks like a slight allocation to risk this morning, but not by very much. That's the current market stance. Looking ahead at what we do have some key figures. U.S. manufacturing PMI prelim, services PMI, and existing home sales today. Keep an eye out for that. We also have ECB Speaker Kerr. Let's take a look at what we expected on Friday versus what we got as part of our journaling process. The key expectation for Friday was a likely push into the 2700 that is likely to get rejected, and the market's likely to push back down to 2687 for a balanced day. Remember, we talked last week about how the market just has turned over and it's likely to consolidate before it releases to the downside. This is not what actually happened. Let me change my pen color. This is not what actually happened. What took place was scenario 2. We could not push into the 2700. However, we did pinch up a little bit, and then we ended up pushing all the way through 2665 to the downside. So we took out the low of Thursday and started the process of exploring prices lower. This is what actually happened. Here we go. This is on my trigger chart. So you can see here, we opened at 26.92 and just were not able to explore up to 2700, which is up here. We immediately started selling off in a trend-like manner. There was quite a bit that traded at the open up here, left us with what looked like a weak high, but overall unable to sustain those prices in value. We got a small test and check here in the lower distribution of Thursday at 87, just a little zipper there, and then it just breaks loose and spends the rest of the afternoon just trading sideways from about 2675 to about 2665 until later on it drops to 2660. We tested on Friday, important to note, we basically tested the prior week's high from above and are now bouncing up. We're trading at 2676.75 currently, which is a value high and the mid of Friday, and it's even though it's opening higher than where it closed, it does look weak to me. Pretty good delta on the close. You could see that it just pushed right back up on a small pop in price. We had a delta that really regained from negative 22,000 to about negative 3,000 or 4,000 by the close, which isn't really reflecting. I mean, the equivalent in price would probably be somewhere up here for the delta. Remember, the delta is 0 at the open, and it's at its max low when price is at its max low down here. So with this kind of delta recovery, we would expect price to be much higher up here, and it wasn't. It just shows that price is just not able to respond to volume. There was a lot of volume coming in on the close, and we got a decent rotation, 9 points, but overall the market just could not push back up. The expectation was into the close is a retest 2680, and we didn't see that. This is a key low volume node for us this morning or today. And that's the area that the buyers will want to get through to maintain a retest of Friday's open and to make an attempt at 2,700 again. Here's the overnight. The overnight just open up in a gap up from Friday. We open up in a gap up, and we immediately went towards the close of Friday. Didn't quite get there. Spent the Asian session sideways from 2684.85 down to 2673. And then finally, when Europe opened right in here, the selling started, which left us with a pretty weak high, pretty tight range right after the European Open, and then a small recovery into the current session. The overnight session isn't telling us very much. It's telling us that prices are not, there's no consensus. Prices are being explored across the board. There's a low volume node right under here, right here, with two distributions, one down there, one up here, and we are trading in the upper distribution against the overnight point of control, which has shifted up. It was down here, which has shifted up, and what it's telling us is the market's balancing above Friday's close. Overnight inventory is slightly long, almost balanced until this pop up, and right now it looks to me like we're likely to test lower and set up a base for higher trading. So let's look at our intraday chart here and what our scenarios are likely to be. Again, currently trading right here against the overnight point of control. So this is the overnight point of control. This is value high of Friday. This is the swing high 2677 of Friday, and the mid of Friday as well. There's a bit of confluence here. We're opening right in this area. The expectation is for an open auction. We are in range, almost in value. So we're looking for a two-way auction, and then I'm looking for a test lower as the primary scenario, a test down into the close, push in here, consolidate, set up a base, and then move up towards 2683 for a retest of Friday's open and the stock zone up high. That's the primary scenario. Almost equally probable is the opposing scenario where we open, test higher, find our sellers early, push into the close of Friday, the weekly close, and then unable to find buyers, and we start exploring lower. 2672, this 72-73 area is quite key over several days. If we carry this stock zone to the past, we see it's been tested quite a bit from the top and the bottom. So I expect us to consolidate in here, and then finally to start moving towards the overnight low for the overnight stat, and then explore the next areas down. It is Monday. There was nothing special about Friday, so anything could happen here. I am looking for a test below Friday's low. I'm looking for a test of the MC point of control, the most valuable price or the most traded price by volume as of February 2nd, the big sell-off, the Friday. That's expected to be a magnet, and so that's why I'm looking for this as a high potential for today. So how do you trade those opposing views? We sit out the first few probably brackets. I would say hang out for the first half hour or so. Let the market decide what it wants to do. I know it's hard for traders because they feel like, hey, the market's open. I'm here, locked and loaded. I need to shoot at something. Be smart. Wait for the market to tell us which way it wants to go. Watch your delta. Is it heading higher? Is it lower? Is it moving with price? Is it not? Is there an impulse? Which direction is the impulse in? How is the market rotating? Are the bigger rotations down or up? Those are all clues as to what the context is. What is it testing on the open? Did it reject this low volume node up here that I discussed a minute ago, 2680? Did it reject that low volume node and move through the open? That shows weakness. Are we getting a negative delta as we're pushing up? That's showing weakness, and so on and so forth. So to me, does it make a difference? Do I need to have scenario 1 play out this morning? I do not. I don't care. It's just a play on probabilities. All I care about is which side is gaining the upper hand in this move, and I want to trade from that side. I want to trade from strength. Whichever side gets the better rotations, whichever side is making better progress. What is it? What has it done? What is it trying to do? How good of a job is it doing? That informs which side we want to be on when we put the trade on. Put the trade on. Let the market tell you what it wants to do once the trade is on. Don't over manage it. So hopefully this morning, especially if you're a Convergent member, you've taken the time to look at your performance last week. You've identified some areas that need focus, some errors that need to be eliminated, and you've set out your goals for the week to eliminate those. That's the only way I can think of to get traders to progress over time. Sorry about the lecture, but it's a good way to start the week. Good luck.